A two-way frequency table summarizes two categorical data columns. Here are two categorical data columns, one for the family socioeconomic status and one for whether or not this person recommends getting a student loan for college. The family socioeconomic status is represented on the two-way frequency table on the row side with the three groups of high, low, and middle. And the recommendation column is represented in the two-way frequency table on the column side with the two groups of not recommend and recommend. This two-way frequency table was generated by software so that we can quickly analyze these two categorical data columns together. For example, if we wanted to know how many people grew up in a low family socioeconomic status and also recommend getting a student loan to attend college, then we would find the intersection of this row and this column and see that that number is 8. There are 8 people that grew up in a low family socioeconomic status, and they also recommend getting a student loan. Those 8 people can be found from these two data columns as well, but it's a little bit harder to find them as we would have to go through each column and identify a low and recommend combination. In a two-way frequency table, the last row and column provides all the total counts and percentages for each single category group. For example, 14. 14 of the total 50 people in the dataset come from a high family socioeconomic status, and we see that value in the table over here in the grand total. For another example, if we wanted to know of all the 50 people in the dataset, how many of them do not recommend getting a student loan, then we would travel from not recommend down the column into the other grand total side and see that 19 people out of the 50 do not recommend getting a student loan. In a two-way frequency table, the main table provides all the counts and percentages for all combinations of category groups. The main part of the table is the combination of the different groupings, high, low, middle, combined with not recommend and recommend. These are all the counts and percentages for every combination of these two categories. Of the 14 people from a high socioeconomic status, that was this row up here, 7 do not recommend getting a student loan. We find the intersection of high and not recommend and see that that count is 7. Let's check for understanding. How many people come from a middle family socioeconomic status and recommend getting a student loan? How do you know? A, 16, B, 10, C, 31. Blank people come from a middle family socioeconomic status and recommend getting a student loan. I know because A, 16. 16 people come from a middle family socioeconomic status and recommend getting a student loan. I know because I found the part of the table that combines the middle row and the recommend column. Middle, recommend, 16.